My name is Wayne. My last name is Dolcefino.
Wayne Dolcefino.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, sure. I want to spell it for you?
No, I think I can figure it out.
We met California lawyer Michael Stoller in the lobby of a fancy LA hotel. Watch him quickly make a beeline for the elevator to escape. You going down?
Well, not with you.
Oh, you don't want to come down with me?
No.
Oh, I was going to spell my name for
I
you.
have no interest in talking to you.
All right, very good. Just 90 seconds before, we had asked our first question. Guess it was funny. You're very popular with the state bars around the country. How come?
What's with the microphone?
If that sounded like a nervous laugh, I can understand why. I run an investigative firm, and we're investigating your long trail of legal troubles with state bars. Stoller's been in trouble in at least 6 states. How does he still have a law license in California?
I'm an active member in good standing. Anybody can look it up, number one.
That same record shows Stoller has been in ethics trouble in California. He lost the right to practice law at least twice. His office once accused of illegally signing documents. Remember that as we travel across the country. Stoller's been accused of possible mortgage scams in several states. Colorado, false and misleading advertising. Illinois, sued by the AG for taking money from desperate folks trying to avoid foreclosure and then not helping them. In Arizona, Stoller was accused of operating a phony government assistance program. Stoller wasn't licensed in Arizona. The bar said he used his brother-in-law's suspended bar number to try and pull off the racket.
I see your gentleman over here with a camera, and I have no interest in talking to you.
And that's right after we asked about this woman, Sarah Hart. Our viewers first learned of her plight last year.
Sir, I said I have no comment. I'm not going to discuss anything with you.
Sarah is too old and too sick to fight this battle alone, and she now has a court-ordered conservator who controls her entire life. But her son Guy is fighting for years now to expose the folks he says took away millions in real estate from him and his mom and got away with it, including the lawyer, Michael Stoller. What does it say about the system when a lawyer could be in this much trouble in this many states and still be licensed to practice law?
It is absolutely shocking. And the judges rely on his honesty and integrity, which he does not have any.
But here's the dilemma. So far, the California courts have rejected Guy Hart's claims that some of the very same people involved in ripping off other senior citizens were involved in the financial assault of his mom.
If you really are interested in Guy Hart, you should take a look at the judgment that was awarded against him.
Here's that order from the California Second Appellate District, quoting, "Guilt by association is not a facet of American law." Maybe not, but there is evidence the California courts may have simply gotten it wrong because they didn't bother to fully investigate. The FBI wanted the U.S. attorney to consider prosecuting those involved in the case of Sarah Hart, suspecting that she might be one of many victims of that big California fraudster, Mickey Henschel. And we think it's time for the feds to take a second look. Tell me about your relation with Mickey Henschel.
Good luck.
Do you know Mickey Henschel? Michael Stoller knows Mickey Henschel very well. He was his lawyer. You know the feds busted him, right? Were you involved with Mickey Henschel? Did you do business with him? Henschel is now in federal prison, serving a 20-year sentence for mail fraud, a scheme to con elderly folks out of their homes, using fake trust to get a small piece of a property, then using that to swindle old folks out of the rest. And a guy named Carlos Velasquez created those fake trusts. The Justice Department says he pocketed $750,000 in the racket. And that's why these documents matter a lot. These are California trusts created by Carlos Velasquez. But look at the other name on those trust documents. The co-trustee with convicted Carlos. His name is Don Hart, Guy's brother. Guy has been helping his mom in a seemingly never-ending legal battle over about $10 million worth of family properties they say were stolen in the very same kind of financial scheme that ripped off so many others.
And he's considered deranged?
It was the morning after we had confronted Michael Stoller in that hotel lobby, but Don Hart already knew it happened, called it an ambush.
Mrs. Stoller, you ambushed him.
Turns out Michael Stoller has been Don Hart's lawyer too in that legal fight with his own mom.
No, he was my lawyer. I've never done business with Mickey Angel. It's all a lie. What he's doing, he's peddling lies.
But through a lot of emails, we can show you that Mickey Henschel and Don Hart were talking a lot. A relationship that actually spans decades, the family says. Emails showing the convicted fraudster was the guy Don was getting advice from on the fight over his mom's properties. And when Michael Stoller's law office updated Don Hart on the family legal fight, look at the email address that was included. caldocservices@hotmail.com. The FBI said that was Mickey Henschel's email. Here's a Dolcefino Consulting flashback. Check out this lawsuit in 2015. Sarah testifying that Don moved into her house, threatened to throw her out, sometimes entering a state of craze, wanting to put her in a mental hospital. He, quote, always wanted money, money, money.
That was a lie, because I never did.
So your mom was lying?
No, at the time she was under duress from Guy.
We wish we could talk to Sarah Hart, but her conservator ignored our calls. Family members say he's unfairly restricted their visits with Sarah. It's a constant complaint we hear in guardianship investigations across the country. But we can tell you how she lost multi-million-dollar properties, including this one on Wilcox. There's no dispute that a mutual family friend was asked to resolve the family fight over real estate, the lawsuit between Guy Hart, his mom, and brother Don.
And this was a scam. You know, my mom and I believed we're meeting with a family friend to mediate the dispute with a family member, Don.
But it's that so-called family friend's decision that is now at the heart of Guy Hart's ongoing legal fight to prove a conspiracy was hatched to cheat them.
You just took an oath to tell the truth. Do you understand that?
כרגע רק הצהרת שתאמר את האמת. מובן לך?
Okay.
Yes.
His name is Sam Pinchasi, and you could hear that he's answering questions through a Hebrew interpreter.
Can you read and write English fluently?
האם אתה יכול לקרוא ולכתוב אנגלית באופן מלא?
No.
Yet Pinchasi supposedly authored these legal declarations all in English, in which he claimed he wasn't just trying to help resolve a family fight, he actually had performed as an arbitrator. That means whatever he decided was legally binding on the family. And Pinchasi awarded Don some of the family's most lucrative properties. In this email, Don Hart talks about a planned meeting with Sam Pinchasi and Mickey Henschel. Guy Hart believes it was Michael Stoller who manufactured those declarations as part of the organized crime conspiracy to allegedly rip off his mom. What about the Pinchasis? Did you do business with the Pinchasis? You know who eventually took ownership of this Wilcox property? Look at California deed records. Something called the Molly P. Family Trust out of Arizona. We got the docs, and look, this is weird. It's owned by Sam Pinchasi's son, that family friend that Guy Hart says sold his mom out for money. It's certainly worth looking deeper into how the family of the so-called neutral party got such a prize from Don Hart.
Something is seriously wrong here.
Well, I'm investigating whether or not you guys were part of a scheme to defraud them.
Please call counsel. I'm not here to discuss this case.
We went to the electronics store that Pinchasis owned in East LA, but they're out of that business now because they're big in real estate. The U.S. attorney never sought criminal charges to try and prove that Mickey Henschel also helped engineer the plan to take Sarah Hart's property. But we can now link conman Henschel and convicted fraudster Velasquez directly to the real estate transactions that gave Don Hart ownership of a lot of the Hart family property. In fact, Velasquez is listed on the title of the home Sarah now lives in. We look back at the superseding indictment against Mickey Henschel, filed by the California U.S. Attorney in March of 2018. One of the trusts identified in that indictment is called XL Enterprise Trust. Years earlier, Don Hart had granted a small interest in this property, 4548 Topanga Canyon, to that very same trust. The co-trustee, Carlos Velasquez. Just down the street from 947 Wilcox was another property once owned by the Hart family. Again, Don Hart created a trust giving away a small percentage of that property to a trust called Rancho Enterprises. Remember that Mickey Henschel indictment? There it is. Rancho Enterprises, identified by the U.S. Attorney as one of the fraudulent trusts that were controlled by Mickey Henschel.
You never did any business with Mickey Henschel?
No, no.
But in 2019, when Mickey Henschel was sentenced, Don's sister Lee Moore challenged Don and Mickey. In a victim statement, she claimed, quote, Don treats and believes Mickey is God and a magician. He had always been able to make people's homes vanish in a blink of an eye, and that he never got caught. Don betrayed our whole family. In this email, Don Hart says he's still awaiting the Mickey money, whatever that means, but it sounds financial to me.
No doubt in your mind this was a scam.
This was a total scam, and the judge participated, facilitated it, was complicit in it.
We know longtime California lawyer Meyer Sankary is trusted. His low-cost nonprofit mediation company is used by the Los Angeles court system, and he's not shy about blaming the courts for buying the BS that Don Hart and his friends were peddling.
And I blamed the fucking judge. I'm so angry with him because he would not explore the fact that it violated every principle of arbitration rulings. But the point is, it was elder abuse right on its face. It's clear elder abuse.
And Sankary says Sarah Hart, she's just one of so many seniors across the country who have been cheated.
A lot of times, these elderly people don't know what's happening until it's too late. Things are gone, their bank accounts are empty, their house is transferred, and then they have to wait 3, 4, 5 months after they're evicted from their home.
The Mediation Center is one of 7 groups that file briefs with the appeals court, arguing that Sarah lost her properties without ever signing a single document agreeing to binding arbitration in the first place. The appeals court was given a lot of this evidence. The judges ignored it. Guy Hart tried to subpoena Carlos Velasquez in his legal fight, but Michael Stoller, the lawyer, told the court that Velasquez was unavailable, out of the country. But we've learned the FBI proved that wasn't true. Did Michael Stoller lie to the court? He's been proven to be a scammer before.
Elders and seniors are getting scammed across the nation.
Check out this website, protectingourElders.com. It was created to get the California legislature to finally act to protect other moms so they aren't cheated like Sarah Hart believes she was.
We're trying to change the laws for other elders that we truly have more protection from people like Michael Stoller, like Mickey Henschel, like the Pinchazis, like the Dons.
When Mickey Henschel pled guilty to wire fraud, a federal prosecutor said he had engaged in litigation extortion. Guy says he and his mom have spent far more than $500,000 trying to fight back in court. We've heard that term a lot in our line of work, using the courts to financially bleed your victims, making it impossible for them to fight the fraud. The truth be damned. And remember, his lawyer was Michael Stoller. You going down?
Well, I'm not with you.
Oh, you don't want to come down with me?
No.
Oh, I was going to spell my name for you.
I have no interest in talking to you.
Michael Stoller is a veteran attorney. He's argued in courts in a lot of states. But we found one court transcript in the Hart case that is very interesting. Maybe it was just a slip of the tongue. But even though Michael Stoller was representing Don Hart at the time, he said this, quoting, "If you award Mickey the ruling." Maybe the California judges who've ignored Guy Hart for so long should start doing what we did, actually connect the dots. Mickey Henschel was involved in this real estate case. So was Carlos Velasquez, 2 convicted felons. Fraudsters. The lawyer was Michael Stoller, punished in 7 states, mostly for scamming. And we know that the family of the guy who decided how to split up the property, they got a big payday. Not from both sides, but just from one. Don Hart, that property on Wilcox where Guy and I met to chat, it's now worth several $1 million. Guy and his mom still have a chance for the justice they seek. They are pushing 3 ballot measures to protect seniors in the California legislature. You can see them all on protectingourElders.com. They're suing Don Hart, the Pinchasis, Carlos Velasquez, Mickey Henschel, and the lawyer Michael Stoller. The next judge should start the case by reading the letter Sarah Hart submitted before Mickey Henschel was sent to prison. Quoting, Mickey Henschel managed to recruit my eldest son Don Hart into his team of crime, fraud, manipulation, and corruption.
Why do you keep fighting?
Because it's my mom. And I will fight. She would do the same for me.